Everybody, I'm excited today. We have with us, born and raised in Central Illinois, 17-year veteran of marriage, one half of the team that is J.J. Clark, lifelong go-getter whose exquisite skill is matched by her phenomenal will, entrepreneur extraordinaire Jaqueline Clark here with us in the power plant today. How you living?
I'm doing pretty good, Brian. How are you?
Good. Okay, let's plug in. We've been charged with two things. First, the discovery of our gift, and second, the responsibility of sharing that gift with the world. And right now, there's somebody who is buried underneath the weight of a false narrative they believe about themselves, and they're going to see this and they're going to say, I can relate to her story. She is from where I'm at. And I'm not talking about a geographical location. I'm talking about a mindset and circumstances. And they're going to know she successfully navigated her way out of a place that I can't see my way out of right now. So, Jaqueline Clark, this is your hour to amp the people up with the power of your story. Let's electrify them. Here we go. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell the 18-year-old version of yourself? And if you could be so kind as to give us a glimpse as to what was going on in her life.
18. You're out of high school at that point. I started working for the state government actually as a temporary job because I was like, I want my own money. So I'm going to make sure I have my job. And to tell you the truth, Jackie today is still very similar to Jackie at 18.
Okay.
I've always been the independent, have my own money, goal setter kind of person. But I think being under the roof of my parents um, put a little bit of a twist, I guess, made a little bit of difference on who I was because my parents were good parents, right? They made sure I stayed out of trouble, raised me right, and they still had some, what I want to say, parental hands on my life, right? At that point. So Jackie today is, of course, not living under her parents' roof, and she makes her own decisions. It doesn't have those parental guidelines anymore. But at 18, I think my mindset was time is not going to move forward. You're still going to be young Jackie doing what she wants to do independently. And responsibility, even though I had some, was not as heavy as it is now, right? So it was a more free and I won't say willy-nilly thinking because that never was me, but never really the person that said, okay, I need to make sure I have plans moving forward. So I think that's the difference. So today I'd be like, you know what? You think you're an adult, but you're not. You still have some learning to do. Be open to learning new ideas. Be open to taking advice from others. And buckle up because adulting is not everything you think it is. It can be a little bit more rough. Always keep it real. And don't ever doubt your potential.
Ooh, that's some wisdom right there. I hope somebody's listening to this. Okay, can you tell us the story of how you discovered that gift that lives within you?
You know, I've never been one to toot my own horn. I hate talking about myself.
Okay.
And I think it's really just the people you surround yourself with that are able to see who you are as a person on the inside, right? not just what you may project yourself to be.
Okay.
So, making sure that I've surrounded myself with good folks, good minds, good values, good morals. They were able to say, you know what, you're pretty good at this, so you're pretty good at that, and that's something that you should focus on. Really helped to push me to do what I feel is what you call a gift. I don't necessarily call it a gift, but it's what I enjoy doing and what drives me.
That in itself is a gift, and the wisdom in that is all you've constantly surrounded yourself with a good core group of people, and that's wonderful advice. That a lot of people, they you think that there's certain things that are common sense, but it's not. So that's the power right there. Is you chose good circles to be around, that people pulled things out of you that you necessarily didn't see in yourself. That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you tell us the story of when and how you discovered that you had a responsibility to share what you don't call a gift, to share your talents with the world?
um, Again, being that I'm introverted and I am not necessarily one that's going to, even though I consider myself a go getter, um, I'm not one to shout from the rooftops, "Hey, this is me, and this is what I have to offer." But I think what has helped kind of push me out of that zone a bit to share is, again, the people I surrounded myself with, and then having those little successful moments that sometimes we don't necessarily consider success. Um, I consider them. I talk about them as stepping stones, right?
Okay.
They're little bits and pieces within your journey that you're like, okay, you know what? I've made it to this point. Let's get to the next one. And they're really successful steps. They're not stepping stones, right? So I think with every stepping stone or successful point, that's given me the courage to say, I'm not just going to keep this to myself. If I can help others, then that's what I'm going to do. Whether it be through business, whether it be through encouragement and friendship, relationship wise, I'm going to make sure that I share whatever I have to give.
That's awesome. And I hope my introverted listeners are hearing this. Can you, I know you're very humble, but can you share just a few of those milestones, those stepping stones that you're talking about, that you decided, you know what, I've got to share this, or something that somebody else has said, ooh, you need to be sharing that with people. What could you share, just a couple of those things?
Yeah. As far as business is concerned, again, I started working when I was a teenager. I mean, my first job really was at the age of, as soon as I could legally be paid, 14. I got a worker's permit. And it, I enjoyed working, again, making my own money. So that way I could spend it on whatever it was I wanted to do. But the more I got into a field that I felt like I was actually kind of good at, um, the more that it grew, that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to continue on doing this field. So fast forward a little bit, I ended up getting involved in direct sales. And really, it was just for fun. I already
Okay.
had a job, I was working full time. But I was like, you know what? This is a neat little product. I'm going to try it and I'll just do it on the side, no biggie. Well, because I am a person who wants to establish real relationships with people, no matter what platform I use. People use social media, they have fake friends, they just
Yeah.
go for follow. That's not me. I'm not going to just sit and chit chat with people that I don't necessarily have a relationship with,
Right.
right? So my goal was, I enjoy this little side job and I want to share this product because I enjoy it myself and I know everybody else will enjoy it. But I'm not just going to go and cold call just friend everyone on Facebook. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to establish relationships, be friends with people, be real. And it ended up growing to where that was, my establishing relationships was a stepping stone, but I benefited from it, right? Because now I have friends for life, first of
Yes.
all. And the success of that little business ended up leading me to be the top salesperson in the company.
Come on.
Within like 6 or 7 months, I ended up having a team of 700 people in
Woo!
7 months, and I was a top income earner. And I was like, this is me. This is what I enjoy doing, right? And I never thought of myself as a leader, but um, a person that would hopefully be a supporter of the people that I brought on board with me to my team, right? So that was the stepping stone within that part of my life or my journey within business, to where I was like, okay, I enjoy doing this. It ended up being my full-time job. I ended up getting hired on to corporate staff. And then it eventually branched off to where I was doing my own thing, doing my own business and establishing other relationships, not just, friends, obviously we can benefit each other, but business relationships as well. And some people don't know this, but even in business relationships, you have to build those. It's not always just the exchange of money. You have to build trust in
Yeah.
business relations. So I think really that stepping stone or that piece of my journey of building relationships and being authentic
Woo!
was important in the whole thing.
This is powerful. Okay, so somebody who's sitting watching this, who will be watching this, is going to say, wow, me as an introvert, I'm looking at this powerful woman who is introverted, but she's led teams of 700-800 people and gone up corporate and built relationships. That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Um, how did you make belief reality? Like, how did you, coming from where you were working your regular job, how did you make belief reality into becoming someone who owns their own business and does completely their own thing? Like, how did that occur?
I've heard someone say before, just because you hope in something or you believe in something, that doesn't make it true.
Okay. Okay.
That I'm fully behind that statement, because what that means is that there's work involved, right? There's action involved. You just can't
Yeah.
sit and hope and wait.
Right.
And that's not my personality at all. So if I know I have a goal, I know I have to put the work in. And that's just as simple as it gets. So there's also a statement that says I'd rather work 60 hours a week as an entrepreneur than work 30 to 40 hours as an employee. And that's very true as well. I mean, being an entrepreneur or a business owner is not necessarily easy.
No.
You have to have the mindset that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to get it done.
Right.
And that's me. If I have my mind, I'm a pit bull. If I have
Oh,
my
right now.
I have my teeth sunk into something, I'm not letting loose until I get what I want out of it. So I'm 100% that person, even though I may be introverted, even though I may not seem the life of the party. I am that person. I sink my teeth in, I put my head down, and I work. And I think it's important for everyone who has a goal that they want to achieve. You can hope for it, you can believe it's going to happen, but you got to back it up with the actions and the work.
That's all right. I love it. I love all the principles that you're talking about. Forget about what I think I am and what people may perceive me as. I'm going to dig in and I'm going to make this work. Wow. Okay. What would you like to share with the listeners about what's on your horizon, what you're involved with, that they can experience what it is that Jaqueline Clark does as a business owner?
How much time you got?
We have time. Come on with it.
No, I'm joking. I have a lot of irons in the fire, and that's another thing, about me is I like to stay busy.
Okay.
I'm not a person who likes to sit and twiddle their thumbs. I have to be doing something. But um, business wise, I have JJ Clark Body Co., which is a head to toe kind of bath and body company. Uses natural products, sulfate free,
Come on.
and the products are great. And I have affiliates that run the product for me. They sell, great friends that I've known for years. And JJ Clark Body Co. I feel like um, it's one of those companies where I don't like forcing things on people. I feel
Uh-huh.
like things grow sometimes naturally. And however, I'm still going to work hard, right? But I feel like this company, especially, I like where it's at. Of course, I want to grow it. So I expect to, within the next couple of months, kind of sink my teeth back in and help it to grow even more. I have a few products in mind that I want to add to the list. So that people can look forward to. I also kind of started like a little COVID sanity project for myself. Being on lockdown for so long as we were, not leaving the house. Um, I started crafting, if that's what people want to call it. So I make
Yes.
my own handbags, and I believe Brian has a few as well.
Oh, let me tell y'all, she is being very humble. When I tell you she bad, cold blooded, like, please tell us. Just drop the name of the. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
It's called Clutch Couture, and
Woo!
I do a lot of custom work as well. I work with leather, I work with faux, and I can pretty much, I won't say that I'm expert yet. I'm working at being better than what I have been. And so that means constantly behind the sewing machine. But I do everything from handbags to duffels to backpacks to dop kits, anything you can think of. Even if you have an idea in mind, I can do my best to meet your idea and produce the bag that you want.
I just want to say this to everybody who's humble is like when I tell you the quality, when she said, oh, I think I no, she'll kill it. Whatever it is that you want, that you I'm trying to get better. That's awesome. But you in my book, top notch. Top notch. And the fact that you sink your teeth in and you've turned something that has been a tragic situation for a lot of people, that has debilitated people in so many different ways, you have taken something and you've turned it around and dug in and pulled out a gift that you didn't you I don't know if you knew you had that gift. Did you?
Yeah, no, actually, in all honesty, I probably hadn't touched a sewing machine since I was in home ec class in middle school.
And killing the game, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, very, very. I don't even know what the. I'm in awe and inspired by your work, and not just with the handbags and all the design, because you're a designer. Just call it what you're a designer of
Right.
I'm just putting it out there and I'm just keeping it real. And the body products, woo, nice, nice, y'all. Again, quick question. So, are those your formulas, or like with the or do you just network with people uh and pull together a team for the body products?
A little bit of both. So I do have some that I formulated myself, and then there are chemists that you can work with that have a base product, and then you can add or take away whatever you want. So we've done a little bit of both with the line.
So are y'all listening to this? Like, when I say top-notch professional, she's talking about, I work with chemists, but she develops her own. You're so inspiring, and that is why I'm so glad that you decided to grace us with your presence and share your story. Where can they find you online? Where can they find your products online?
Okay. Clutch Couture. You can go to the Clutch Couture, and Clutch is CLUTCH.com. And actually, Clutch Couture is like a sister company, or it's actually embedded in my boutique that I have, which has clothing as well. So you can get to that site at Closet Basics, and that's B as in boy, ASIX.com. So whether you want the clothes or the Clutch Couture, they're all held on the same site. You can get to them through those two different domains. And as far as JJ Clark Body Co., it's jjclarkbody.co. CO, no M.
I will put links, or I'll spell it out for them exactly the way it is, and put it in the video. It's just so important, I feel, that people take their life in their own hands and they brave it and they utilize what's within them and they come up with their own. And you are a phenomenal example of that. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for coming on here and speaking. And again, I wanted you to come on because I know that you're introverted. I want introverted people to know they can be a boss and kill the game just like you. So thank you so much for your time, and we respect it and we respect you. Check her out. I will leave links to how you can get these amazing products made from this authentic, amazing person. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
All right. You take care. And everybody stay connected and stay plugged into the power. To change the narrative in your life, take the next step. Invest in yourself and book a life strategy coaching session with me at www.beliefinteriordesign.com. Let's start the journey of making belief reality.